Welcome to the woods. I'm your favorite libertarian, maybe, and this is another continuation of the Glock 45 MOS build series. Today we're going to be talking about the DPM Systems recoil guide rod setup. This is actually 10 different possible combinations that you can have to fine-tune the recoil impulse of your Glock 45 or any Glock really. They have pretty much every generation. This was, full disclosure, sent to me by DPM Systems. Panos is who I've been working with over there. He's been great. I did have some questions for him before the video and he was great in answering those. So today I'm going to show you what they say is the optimized setup for having a Radian ramjet on your Glock 45. Before we get to the shooting portion of this video, which will be coming up soon, I will show you all the different springs and everything in here, give you close-ups, and also show you from their manual kind of the combinations that you could possibly use. We're going to first shoot this without the setup in there, and then we're going to see after that, after the slow motion footage of shooting this, what it works, how well it works with the prescribed setup from DPMS. Systems. You know what I'm trying to say. The holster that we're rocking for this video is the Klecker Tactical front and center. It is a super awesome holster. I don't know if you can see with all the sunlight coming in, but it's got this cool pictograph looking thing. Awesome holster, allows me to carry a full-size gun at work and on church security. So shout out to Charles at Klecker Tactical for hooking us up with this thing. Full review coming soon. If it's already done, I will put it up here for you guys. But otherwise, this has been featured in the build series, so you can check that out in the previous video of this series that you're watching right now. Full disclosure, this was sent to me free of charge for my honest feedback and review. TLR1 HPX from Streamlight. Streamlight did send me this light so I could give my honest feedback, and I did in a video up there, wherever it is, because I always forget because I think the screen reverses when I film. Either way, I think that's pretty much it for all of the quote-unquote free stuff. It cost me more to do the video than what the stuff is worth. Another disclaimer is that I take prayer requests, so if you have any of those, don't hesitate to put them in the comment section below. I would love to pray for you. If you have any questions, drop in the comment section below or DM me, Instagram, all the things will be in that link as well. If you don't have a personal relationship with the God who made you, the God who loves you, no better time to start than the present. Yesterday would have been better, but today is a great time, so don't wait. All right, last thing is gonna be the rest of the video, so here we go. All right, let's get nerdy, shall we? Here's what we're actually testing at the range today. DPM adjustable mechanical recoil system for Glock models 19, 19X, 23, 32, 45, 47, and 49 for Gen 4 and Gen 5 variants of the Glock. But guess what? They also actually have a ton of different systems for a ton of different guns. As far as handguns go, vast variety. They also do rifles, which is pretty cool. They also do shotguns and PCCs and 1911s and 2011s, so pretty rad. Anyway, back to what we're testing today. And now it's time for everyone's favorite portion of the video, what's in the box? This is the portion of the video where I show you what's in the box. And here it is. This is it. This is what comes in the box, including the manual that you're looking at right now. You have your three bigger springs. Those are the external springs, an 8-pound, a 9-pound, and a 10-pound. You have your three internal springs, a 17-pound, a 20-pound, and a 22-pound, separated by length for both of those. You also have that black housing. You have your spring lock plug, and you have your axle. That's pretty much it. All right, let's move on. This next page is showing you how to install that lock spring plug. Next up in the manual, it's showing you how to install that internal spring and then assemble it with the sleeve. Then you're just gonna pick your external spring that you wanna use and assemble it kind of like you would do with any other recoil spring in your Glock, except for the fact that it's a way longer spring and it's a lot harder to do. This is what it looks like when it's in the actual slide assembly. And pro tip that they provide, if you are having trouble with that self-lock spring plug, as far as getting it out, if you want to revert back to factory settings, you can actually use that housing to pop it out, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, why would you actually want to use this system? Well, they list the advantages as such: faster follow-up shots, improved firing speed, slide and frame protection as you are eliminating that slam forward and slam back of your normal recoil setup, elimination of jams, significant recoil reduction, better double tap concentration, and better control and greater accuracy. They're also backed by a lifetime warranty and have millions of patented products in service to military, law enforcement, sports, and civilian firearms around the world. Now, with no further ado, let's get to the range and test out all the springy springs. All right, that was in the stock configuration for the spring. Now let's try the not stock configuration. Interesting. I don't know, I think that one, that felt like it stayed in the window the whole time and I didn't have to fish for the dot as much. So that might be the move. Oh, hawk. I think I like that. I can't really get it any softer than that. I might try going heavier just to see what that does. So let's try that. I don't know. I'm really gonna have to go back and watch this footage to know for sure which one is better, because it's really hard to tell between this having the highest and longest springs to going where I could go as short as possible for everything and even omit one of the springs. I'm really gonna have to play around with this more, but all of them feel better than the stock configuration. All right, so I'm back to the shortest external spring and the no internal spring. I'm just gonna see how this feels after having all the springs with all the length. Honestly, I think this is the best setup because when I had all the springs and all the longest springs, I could kind of tell that it was, as I'd shoot it, go like, bam, whoa, bam, you know, and then it would come back. This one, I don't feel all that jiggle. So I'm gonna keep shooting this, we'll see. Yeah, I think this is the setup. I'm gonna keep testing with this. Also, I should probably let you know what ammo I was testing with, so let me do that. All right, for all my testing today, I was using the Bellum 9x19. This is the 124 grain, and you'll find them in boxes like this, but I'm using 124 grain because the carry ammo that I use is Federal HSTs, and that is also 124 grain. So I'm trying to keep everything the same grain weight. I'm going to be testing to make sure the Federal HSTs will run in this setup. So I'm going to do that right now with hopefully what I think is going to be my preferred setup, which is the shortest of the springs for the external spring and no internal spring. So let's test that out right now. All right, here's my Federal HSTs right here. That feels pretty good. Yeah, it's returning right back. I think this is it. Yeah, this is the one, guys. Yep. There you have it. Okay, so for me, in my house, we will serve the Lord. Also, for me, I'm gonna go with the shortest of the external springs with no internal spring, and that is gonna run really well with the Federal HST 124 grain standard pressure. Nice. I'm glad I figured it out. Beep. Beep. All right, we're at the end of the range day, and I'm gonna give you my, I'll call them first impressions on the DPM system for this gun. Wow, that is the short version. The longer version is that I thought I was getting it relatively flat with the Radian Ramjet. But again, if you remember from the previous portion of this series, it would push it down so much that it would go down past where I wanted to hold it and then have to bring it back up. This system with the shortest external spring and no internal spring eliminated the dip down, so I didn't have to pick it back up. Which means, and you can see when I was shooting the Federal HSTs, when I was shooting the 124 grain, once I finally settled on which version of the system I wanted, it shot fast. To the point where I wasn't just able to shoot really fast and mag dump because I was able to find my dot on some part of the steel target. I was actually able to shoot that fast because I was finding the exact same spot on the target every time it was coming back down. So it would just come up a little bit, come back down, come up a little bit, come back down. It wasn't doing what it was doing before, which was come up a little bit, go way down, have to pick it up, which is awesome. The recoil impulse was much smoother, way less jerkiness to it, which is what I was really looking for, and this solved that issue that I had. I'm really happy that I was able to test this out and try it out with a bunch of different things, but ultimately I'm really stoked that it worked even better with the Federal HST's 124 grain standard pressure, which is my preferred carry load. So this is basically gonna be a cheat code if I ever have to use it in any type of life or death scenario, whether on my church security duties, at work, at home, walking around. I am just wanting it to be as unfair of an advantage as possible with the gun that I'm carrying if I ever have to use it, as should you if you are able to do it. Training is going to trump everything else, but I mean, this plus training, it's pretty wild. It's really good. All right, let's talk about the cons for this, because there are going to be cons with anything. First con is going to be the price. Second is going to be the ease of putting your gun back together once you have the setup you want. And third is going to be how long it's going to take you to figure out what setup you should have for this recoil system. Now, as far as the cost goes, this is not inexpensive. This is, you know, over 100 somethings in whatever the Greek money is over there in Greece, where this comes from. Also, I guess it's not American made if you care about that, but it seems like the Greeks do pretty good work as far as what I could tell. So the cost is going to be something to consider. It is going to be more expensive than those setups where it's just the already assembled thing at a certain spring weight, but it's also a lot different than that because this is a 3-piece system. So you're getting a recoil impulse that's a very smooth line versus a jerky line like you would have with some of those other systems just at various weights. So I understand the reason for the cost, especially because you're getting 10 possibilities on how you can set this up with that. I would like to see where you could just email them, or you could see the list of options, say, what setup do you have? Are you running a Radian Ramjet? Are you running this? And then you could just get that specific setup with just those springs and save a little bit. But I understand they probably ran that thought experiment, and I'm guessing they were like, well, you probably have restless Glock syndrome like Nate does, and you should probably just get all of them, and as you're changing your build, you can change out the springs so you don't have to order more. I could see both sides, but it would be nice if they had that as an option so you could save a little bit when you're picking out your setup, because if I would have just ran it exactly how Panos told me to, I wouldn't have had to do all this testing. But I still would have been so curious, because I'm as curious as a cat, and that is why my friends call me Whiskers, that I would still want to try all of them anyway, kind of like I did in this video. So cost, tweaking it is going to take some time to get exactly how you want it. And lastly is going to be installation of this once you have it all set up. It is not easy to get this recoil assembly thing in here once it's all assembled because of that long spring. That's the external spring. It wants to bend if you don't keep it exactly straight as you're putting it in. And I yeeted it at least once when I was trying to get everything in there and test out a bunch of different ones. And before that, I was worried about that happening. And then after that, I was obviously worried about that happening. So those are going to be the 3 cons that I could find. If you thought of any as you're watching my video, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below. Now let's get back to the rest of the video. Full disclaimer, the company sent me this. They sent, not the gun. Glock doesn't know who I am. DPM Systems, I really want to call it DPMS every time. DPM Systems did send me this recoil assembly, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I am spending more money on these videos to make them and edit them, and ammo and range time, than I am in free stuff that I'm getting. So if that's any indication of how honest I'm being, I hope that helps. But if you want to know what I personally think about it, this thing is really good, and this is probably the perfect combo as far as the upper is concerned. Now I'm probably going to work on the lower a little bit, so stay tuned for that in this series, and stay tuned for more videos that I just shot today, like my shotgun mods videos for home defense, and also my 43X Koa series if you haven't already watched that. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay free, and God bless. Bam, 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 bam.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. I'm thinking I'm back.